All right, so this is the lesson on slope formula, which is the second lesson for 3.2. Okay, so this involves the formula that we've seen a little bit. Slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is slope when you have 2 points. All right, so the way this works, you want to label these points. Okay, the 3 is an x, it's our first x, we're going to label that as x1. Okay, all the one on the bottom means it's the first x. This is a y, it's the first y, that's y1. Likewise, this is x2, this is y2. Okay, so to get the slope, you want to always write down the formula, have it in front of you. Okay, otherwise it's very easy to mess up. Okay. Okay, so we're going to substitute what's above, y2, that is -4, minus y1's -3, so we're going to go minus parentheses -3. Okay, we have a double negative over x2, that's 4, minus 3, okay? When we clean this up, -4 plus 3, -1 over 1, okay? And always simplify, -1 over 1 is just -1, all right? Okay, number 2, label x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, again, always write that formula out. Okay, substituting from above, -8 minus 10 over -4 minus 1. Okay, so that's -18 over -5. All right, so to clean this up, we know the two negatives we can get rid of, just become positive, and 5 and 18 we can't simplify at all, so our slope is just 18 over 5. All right? Okay, try number 3 and pause the video and then come back when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so origin, of course, is the point 0, 0, and 5, -10. All right? So go x1, y1, x2, y2. And by the way, does it matter if you did it backwards, if you said this was x2, y2, x1, y1? No, it doesn't matter. In the end, it's going to come out the same as long as you're consistent, okay? All right, so the formula, all right, substituting. All right, so we got -10 over 5, and simplifying, that's just -2. All right, turn to the back. Okay, what's going on in the back? This is different. Finding the coordinate that yields a given slope. So the point -3, r, and 1, 4 lie on a line whose slope is -2. Find the missing coordinate r. Okay, so what's happening here is normally we have coordinates. We have, an x and a y, but instead they gave us a variable. They called it r, and normally we have to get the slope from the 2 points, but here we already have the slope. So we have to work backwards to solve for this value that gives us this slope. All right, how's this going to work? Well, again, we're going to want to start by labeling x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? And just like before, we're going to always write out our formula. Okay. Now when we substitute, we can actually substitute in for m because we're told the slope is equal to -2. So instead of that m, I'm going to put in -2. y2 is 4 minus y1, that's r, over x2, that's 1 minus -3. Okay, let's clean this up. -2 equals 4 minus r over 4. Okay, so now we have to solve for value of r. All right, so we have a fraction we want to clear. How do we clear fractions? We're going to multiply by the LCD. That LCD is 4. Okay, Oops, you can't see that. All right, so continuing up here, we've got -8 equals. Now what happens when I multiply 4 times 4 minus r over 4? You should see the 4's drop out, and we're just left with the 4 minus r, okay? All right, so of course we're going to subtract 4, -12 equals -r, divide by -1, divide by -1, so 12 is equal to r. All right? Number 5, okay, x1, y1, x2, y2, write down our slope formula. All right, so we know the slope here is -1. y2 is 2 minus r over 3 minus -3. Okay, we can clean up the denominator. -1 equals 2 minus r over 6. Now we're going to multiply everything by 6. Okay, so we get -6 equals, and again, 6 times 6, when we multiply this out, 6 times 2 minus r over 6 is just 2 minus r. The 6's are going to drop out, right, when you go. So you can see that visually. Okay, there. That. -8 equals -r. No, that doesn't look like an r. And the value of r is 8. All right. Go try number 6. Number 6 is a little different. Let's see what you can do with it on your own. Okay. x1, y1, x2, y2, and the slope is 3 over 2. Okay, so for m, 3 over 2 equals y2. y2 is r minus -2 over x2, 8 minus 4. Let's clean this up. 3 over 2 equals, that's r plus 2 over 4. Okay, so we have a proportion here, all right? So remember, in a proportion, we cross multiply. 3 times 4, 12 equals 2 times r plus 2. Okay, remember, this is just cross multiplying. That times that, that times that. Okay, and r is 4. All right, last thing for this one. Okay, horizontal and vertical lines, okay? If you remember when we first started talking about slope, we went over the 4 classifications of slope, right? We had positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, okay? And last one was undefined. Okay, so we're only going to be looking at the horizontal and vertical lines, which are these two. Okay, so horizontal line, that's this one. Okay, so for horizontal line, the slope is 0. All right, and for the vertical line, the slope is undefined. All right, so here's how we get a 0 slope. Let's say we do slope formula and we get, let's say, 10 minus 10 over 6 minus 4. Okay, when we clean this up, we're going to get 0 over 2. When you put 0 divided by 2 in a calculator, that's going to give you 0. Okay, If the numerator is 0, then you're always going to get out 0 as your answer, okay? So for a horizontal line, the slope is 0, and the denominator of the fraction will, sorry, I messed up. The numerator of the fraction will be 0. Okay, please fix that in your notes, I'm sorry. Okay, how do we get an undefined slope? Well, let's say we reverse this. Let's say we got 6 minus 4 over 10 minus 10, which of course is 2 over 0. If you try to do 2 divided by 0 in your calculator, it's going to give you an error, okay? So whenever you have 0 in the denominator of a fraction, that's your undefined slope, okay? So the horizontal line has a numerator of 0. The vertical line has a denominator of 0, all right? Let's take a look at an example. All right, so for the first one, -5, 4, and 2, 4, okay? x1, y1, x2, y2. Yes, you need to keep writing it out. Okay? Throw everything in the formula. That's 4 minus 4. See your 0 yet. Over x2, that's 2, minus -5, which is 0 over 7, which, when we said we have a 0 in the numerator, that is 0, okay? So the slope is going to be 0. All right. For the bottom one, -8, 8, and -8, -2. Okay, same thing. All right, so we got -2 minus 8 over -8 minus -8. Okay, so that is, sorry, -10 over 0. Okay, 0 on the bottom of a fraction, that is undefined. Okay, so the slope is going to be undefined. Okay, and this 0 slope, that's going to be your horizontal line, and your undefined slope, that's going to be the vertical line. Okay, go try the bottom two and come back when you're done. Okay, so I'm not going to go through it. You can ask me on a Google Meet or send me an email, but for the top one, you should have had the slope is undefined. And for the bottom one, you should have had that the slope was 0, okay? All right, email me any questions you have or ask me in a Google Meet.